welcome to our next Dermalux Academy webinar, where today we're going to be discussing integrating Dermalux for best practice. So for those of you who are new to the Dermalux Academy or who have missed any of our previous webinars, they're all available to watch on our YouTube channel. So I'm Louise Taylor from Dermalux, and joining me today is our very special guest, Vanessa Brown, who's Managing Director of the award-winning VL Aesthetics up in Carlisle. So Vanessa and her team run a fantastic clinic. They have a Triwave MD and they have a Flex MD, and we're going to be talking about that in a little while. But we've got so much content to share with you that we've decided to extend this over a 3-part series. So over the next 3 weeks, we're going to be discussing why Dermalux is a must-have treatment for any skin clinic, but really focusing on how we can successfully integrate it for client treatment programs, for obviously best results, and also the commercial aspects too. So as always, we've had lots of questions, so thank you for sending those in. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we're going to try and answer as many of those as possible. So I'm now going to hand over to Vanessa and let her introduce herself. So hi Vanessa, thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks Louise. So it's so nice obviously to see so many people on the webinar today, and I can kind of share how we integrate Dermalux into our clinic. So so I'm Vanessa. I run a clinic in Carlisle, Cumbria, so north of England, for those of you who don't know where Carlisle is. We are a face, body and laser clinic. So our kind of ethos is always to deliver the best possible quality of results to our clients, which is why we always want to have the best pieces of kit within the clinic. So obviously it's no surprise that we've got Dermalux as part of that kind of army of kind of tools which we have. And it provides kind of phenomenal results for our clients. And if you've obviously got any questions, just feel free to kind of put them, and Louise can kind of ask me them, and I can kind of give you my kind of advice.
Perfect. And you had, so was it last September you introduced the Triwave MD?
Yeah, so it was last September. The reason why kind of we introduced it, we did have LED in the clinic beforehand. We had the DESI mask, which was fine, no problem whatsoever, but we didn't really integrate LED as much as we do now with the DESI mask. And then obviously COVID happened, the big pandemic happened March last year. And obviously during our period of homestay, I was thinking of ways of how to get the clinic back to the same level as it was pre-COVID times, which was obviously quite a bit of a stress considering we couldn't really get back to doing face treatments for quite some time. And any of these kind of masks that you apply to the skin, I mean, my biggest thing was I had to discontinue that service. The reason why is for cross-contamination and infection control mainly. Nobody these days wants to put a mask on that somebody else has breathed in or even just had contact with their skin. So that's when obviously I started looking into Dermalux, because it's a no-contact treatment. I did a really big push in September after kind of we had the Dermalux training. And with the Triwave, I managed to get about over 100 people booked in within the first 2 weeks. Wow. Because I pushed this no-contact treatment, and everybody was all about, right, that's great, because I mean, look, our kind of perception of things have massively changed throughout this pandemic, so we want that no-contact service. So that's obviously how my journey with Dermalux really began.
Brilliant. Okay, so sort of obviously you'd had LED before, but why, and obviously you're integrating it in different ways, and we're going to have a look at that, but why did you want to introduce LED, and what sort of made you think about LED in the first place in the clinic?
Because it's so safe, it's so effective. You literally can treat any skin condition that you can imagine with it. So it's a no-brainer, really. You know, if I was going back to when I first started the clinic over 4 years ago now, if I had to kind of pick one device, it would definitely have to be LED. The reason being is you can do so many things that are so result-driven with the one device. Obviously, we use lasers in the clinic, we use chemical peels, needling. All of these things do carry an element of risk to them. So if you are kind of ever unsure, I always say, if you're unsure about what treatment to do Dermalux, because it's probably the most safest treatment you could possibly do. And it's so effective, especially with the Triwave. People see such instant results, even after just one session, and they notice a big difference.
Yeah, we've had quite a lot of feedback on that. I suppose, you know, it's just looking at the different specifications of the device, but we're actually doing a case study ourselves at the moment, and, you know, one session and you just see that you know, that sort of wow factor, and it's great. But do you, in the clinic then, do you see a lot of problem skin conditions, or
we treat a lot of acne, we treat a lot of rosacea. Acne has become quite a common skin condition, even more so with obviously wearing a mask. So I see a lot of nurses coming in who obviously have to wear PPE for 12-hour shifts a day. They can't take it off. Their skin is really, really affected. And obviously we know if we don't have good skin, that massively affects how we feel about ourselves. So yeah, we treat a lot of acne. Where we are up north as well, it's quite an outdoor culture. So we've got a lot of farms, a lot of fields and whatnot. So people are outdoors quite a lot. So they do develop rosacea prone skin, veins, that kind of thing. So the Dermalux massively, massively helps to calm the redness. We'll kind of go on to this. I quite often, if I'm just treating acne or if I'm just treating rosacea, I'll start them with kind of skincare initially, and then I'll do Dermalux, and then I'll look even if I need to do peels. Sometimes it's not even necessary.
Yeah, so it's just how it's integrated into that. Yeah, and I suppose the niche with LED, you know, we're saying, well, why is it a must-have treatment? But like you said, it's the high safety profile of it, and I think it's actually promoting this. And I know we've touched on this with a lot of, you know, in some of our previous webinars, but you know, here we're selling a result. So you've got a client that comes through the door, you know, that, you know, you've got the tools there. So they're coming to you because they want a result.
Yeah.
You know, so you're looking at the best possible solution, you know, whether that's that combination of treatments or or how that's kind of integrated.
Yeah. I don't really kind of like to promote one device or one machine or anything like that. It's basically like, if you've got acne, this is the solution. And then obviously my internal protocols will include multiple different steps, you know, because at the end of the day, people are coming to you because you're a professional. You know what you're doing. All they want is their problem fixed. They don't really care how you do it. I mean, obviously you'll get some clients that want to know the ins and outs of things, but the majority of people literally just want the problem fixed. And obviously when you've got different tools at your disposal, you're able to just utilize them all and combine them to get them a quick result, a long lasting result, and an effective result.
Yeah, brilliant. So one of the questions that I wanted to put to you, obviously with choosing the MD, you know, we've got 4 devices in the range, and you've got the Triwave MD, and also you've got the Flex as well. But so, you know, you had the pick, and you took 2, but why the Triwave MD? I mean, we've got it here.
Yeah, we've got it there. Put it on.
It was too bright.
I know you could sit obviously talking on that.
But yeah, so I suppose what drove you to that, or why did you select that as, I mean, it's our hero sort of device, but why did you select it?
It's literally the most powerful LED device that there is on the market. I mean, if you look at other devices by comparison, they literally don't even fall within the same category. So again, going back to the fact that we're a clinic, we're quite a well-known clinic, and we want to provide the best possible results. And the only way to provide the best possible results is by having the best possible equipment behind you in order to do that. You know, people know if you've purchased a device for like £500, there's a big difference in terms of what kind of clinical outcome you are going to get for that client. And as well with the Triwave, obviously, you know, compared to the Flex, shortens the treatment time down because it's so much more powerful. And also there's the fact that less sessions are required.
Yeah,
so it's less time within the clinic, and people want quick results these days. They want to see results yesterday. You know, they don't want to wait 6 weeks for a result. So, you know, I've seen results after 1 session, 3 sessions, dramatic results. And I think from a business point of view, when you're giving your clients them results, they want to come back to you because they develop that element of trust with you. So you really need to invest in the best possible kit to get the best possible results.
Yeah, I suppose we're very fortunate within the range, you know, in terms of how we've developed, you know, that and have a choice for people. So of course, you know, it just depends on people's business situations and everything. But, you know, even starting at the Flex and then, you know, that opportunity to upgrade through. But so with your Flex that you've got as well, so I think you mentioned to me you'd been renting that out. Yeah.
During the period of obviously this new lockdown in the UK, I've been renting it out. I've rented it out to a specific client who she suffers with acne. We've treated her for the last, probably with COVID, maybe the last 12 months or so, and she moved away for university. So obviously she couldn't come into the clinic every couple of weeks or every 4 weeks for a treatment. So I rented her the Flex out, and it's managed to keep her skin at bay completely. So she's had no new breakouts or anything like that. And she pretty much uses it every day. And it's made a dramatic improvement, and it's allowed her to maintain her results. So I think the great thing about the Flex is obviously now during this period of lockdown, it's extra revenue for your clinic, which is fantastic. But also, even let's say when the clinic is up and running, even if you had a few Flexes, you could rent them out to people that cannot get into the clinic, you know, twice a week or anything like that. And they'll still get a really good clinical endpoint. And you can even combine that with the right type of skincare. So that's like another treatment package that you may have lost that client because you know, what if you can't fit them in, for example, or what if they physically can't come in? So, you know, it's just an extra tool that you kind of doing off site, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think the success with LED, and it's always a challenge, you know, getting people to come in frequently, depending, you know, particularly if you're busy. I know now, you know, now we've got to have longer periods in between clients coming in because of cleaning and etc. So it can be a challenge. So if somebody needs that intensive course of treatment, the Flex offers a perfect opportunity, if you're able to rent it out, that they can do an intensive course at home, but not taking away from what the TriWave MDs or the, you know, or the in-clinic device is actually going to do for you. I think there was a question about what I don't know what can we do with the Flex as opposed to the MD. So I'll just on a clinical point. So all of our devices have the same wavelength. So the wavelength is really important because it determines what we can treat and how successfully. I know we've talked about this quite a lot. The difference between them is the power. So like you said, I suppose from a clinic point of view, it's, you know, it's results, but it's also commercial. So shorter treatment times, less treatments, faster results.
Yeah.
And I suppose the application of that. Do you find that, do you use the TriWave MD on the body much, or?
Yeah, I use it actually on my dad quite a bit because he's developed quite a bit of pain in his shoulders. So I use it from a pain point of view. Actually, we're just in the process of developing a pain relief management kind of protocol within the clinic to treat pain. So the TriWave is going to be a big integral part of that protocol. Back acne, treat it for that as well. The great thing about the TriWave is obviously you can treat every single area on the body as well. So it's not just for the face. And that was another big selling point about the TriWave as opposed to the previous LED mask, which I had, which was just limited to the face alone. Obviously with the TriWave, you can treat psoriasis, eczema, any kind of, you know, burn or anything like that. It helps massively to speed up recovery time, and it actually helps to sort the problem out. So yeah, I do utilize it for the face and the body as well.
Which, yeah, I suppose the face is going to be sort of the big area that we treat, but as you know, body, and it has its place, and often people can get, you know, problem conditions on the body. You know, psoriasis is a really big problem, and you know, it can be difficult to treat, but having a tool at least that you can offer that service to clients is it's obviously really important, and extends the range of options that we can offer to our clients as well. So okay, so sort of integrating it then into you know, we've talked about sort of the different options. So let's say I'm a client, I'm coming to see you for the first time. You know, skincare of course is important, but how do you integrate Dermalux in? Is it something that you that people would get put on right at the beginning of their journey with you, or?
Yeah, always at the beginning. So let's say you get someone in for a consultation, get them on skincare, which is first. That's the first thing that you should do. And the reason being, you need to feed that person's skin properly. Doesn't matter what you do from a clinical point of view. If that person's doing nothing at home, they're wasting your time and you're wasting your own time pretty much. So it always has to be backed up with what you do at home. Then the step after that, I always integrate Dermalux. So sometimes I'll do it as a standalone treatment. So with the TriWave, I'll do a 20-minute session, obviously for a period of 10 sessions. Or what I'll do quite often, if I'm doing things like needling, I will automatically include the TriWave as a 10-minute kind of add-on type thing into that treatment protocol. So essentially the client doesn't really have a choice. So again, going back to what we said about this is your clinic's protocol and this is what you're going to use, the client just wants to know how you're going to fix the problem for them.
They're interested in the end result.
Yeah, that's exactly. So I can't really think of many treatments where we don't use the Dermalux for the face. I literally can't think of any, to be perfectly honest, because it is integrated. I mean, obviously there's some that we would do it before a peel, for example, as opposed to after a peel, things like that. But I literally do it with everything. Because one, it accelerates the results, it reduces any downtime, it heals the skin so much quicker, and it gives them a much better result. Which is why I literally do it every single step of the way, whether I'm treating acne, rosacea, pigmentation, aging. I literally use the Dermalux on everybody pretty much.
So would you think of it, and this is something that we try and sort of like a sort of our ethos behind it, you know, it's very much about, it's a foundation treatment. It's something which should be like a core for everybody, because it fits into that whole skin health sort of regime. So, you know, if people are having, so would you say people are coming, even if they're on, you know, combination packages, that do you encourage them to come back in for treatments in between?
Yeah, definitely. So if, for example, I've got somebody on a needling package, for example, if I'm doing one needling treatment every 4 weeks, try to get them in at the 2-week interval. I do it at the 2-week interval, so they've got a chance really to use their actives at home. You want them using their retinols at home, and you don't want to do anything which would cause photosensitivity, obviously, on the skin. So if I've got someone in for needling at a 2-week point, after that, I'll do a Dermalux, then I'll do a needling with LED combined, kind of 2 weeks after that. And I run in that cycle constantly. Same with if I'm doing a peel, I'll do a peel, then 2 weeks later a Dermalux, and then obviously another peel after that. So I literally I like to integrate it kind of each step of the way, but then also, like, people do think they're getting value for money, you know, if they're coming in and getting 2 treatments in a month as opposed to just 1 treatment. So from a business point of view, you're giving your client better value for money pretty much, when obviously it doesn't really cost you much to run the LED device.
So so how do you promote it? Is it a package? So let's say, you know, is it a peel and a Dermalux together, or do you put a bespoke package together for people?
Yeah, so
it depends
always
on
a bespoke package. Yeah. So say we get an inquiry for acne. Okay, that's great. Obviously, you chat through medical history, what they've had in the past, etc., etc. Then I'll say, great, this is our protocol for acne. You know, I need you to come in every 2 weeks. This is what you can kind of expect to happen each session, and that's all I do. If they want to know more, you know, I'll say, great, what we're going to do, we're going to use, like, I don't know, like, let's say we're going to do an Illumiere peel, and we're going to do the Dermalux. What it is, it's LED light therapy, and what this peel is going to do is kind of X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
And we'll do it that way. I do actually promote the Dermalux as a standalone treatment as well. Because I think it's a really low entry point in terms of a price point of view for people. You know, sometimes you could be doing peels that will range between £90 to £300, same with needling. So if you think, if you're a business and you've got a new client coming in, they don't want that element of risk. They don't want to spend a high amount of money on their very first visit, because they don't know what to expect from you. They don't know whether you're good. They don't know if they'll like it ultimately. Yeah. So I always think that the Dermalux is a great entry point treatment. So, you know, if you've got a new client, it's a relatively low amount of money that they need to spend for their first treatment. They get to know you, they get to know the therapist, they get to know what you can do to help their skin. So you've got different ways of how to do it. Either attract new clients with it by maybe doing an introductory offer, which is what I do. Then the second thing would be, obviously, if you've got someone with problematic skin, it needs to be an integral part of the protocol for that type of skin. Because honestly, once you start doing that, your results, they're going to come so much quicker. People will gain trust with you quicker, and you'll just get a better outcome for your client and patient.
I think having it, particularly for new clients, so if you've got somebody who you don't really know their skin, you don't know how they're going to respond, obviously you might be putting them on, let's say, more active products than they've been used to. So actually getting the skin into a strong, you know, optimized condition, and then before going on to something a little bit more invasive. So it creates that journey for them that, you know, on an ongoing.
And you'll also be surprised, like, if you do that and you get them, let's say, even just doing 5 Dermalux sessions or something like that, they'll start to notice improvement after session 2, session 3. So you'll probably have to tweak what you were planning to do with them anyways. You know, if you're doing things like scarring and there's still redness there, you know, like acne scarring, and there's still redness there, the Dermalux will take that redness away really effectively. But then when you combine that with microneedling, I mean, you probably only need really between 3 to 6 sessions, depending on how deep the scarring actually is. And then as a great maintenance, you've got the Dermalux. So, you know.
Yeah, and so do you have a set number of treatments in a package, or do you find that is it quite bespoke as well?
Yeah, I mean, I always go, let's say if I'm doing Dermalux standalone, I'll do about 10 sessions. If it's acne, it's twice a week as a protocol. If it's aging, once a week is fine. I don't like to sell packages, like a set number of packages. The reason why is because you want that repeat business coming in on a monthly basis. So if you're able to do a monthly program for someone, you're guaranteed obviously their income coming in on a monthly basis, as opposed to saying, right, that's your finished package of 10, see you later. You want something, you want like an incentive for them to continue, really.
But that's going to see the ongoing results anyway, aren't they?
Absolutely.
I suppose the two have to go together. The clinical and the commercial have to meet together. So
and as well, from a results point of view, I mean, look, you can't stop the aging process. We age every single day, so you really need to do something to stay on top of it, which is why obviously if you come up with a package where you can have the Dermalux continuously, be it through a rental model with the Flex or coming in for a clinical treatment with obviously the Tri-Wave MD, you're going to get long-lasting results for your clients. And I suppose the biggest compliment from a client's point of view is, you're looking really good. What have you been doing? And it's about having that good skin health. That's what people are looking for. And I think we'll cover that a bit more in next week's, when we've got our aesthetic doctor and how we do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Next week's about results, so definitely a good one to watch. There's a few questions I think are quite relevant. So like sort of things like introductory offers, I suppose, look, coming out of COVID, when we're open again fully, and doing some offers to try and get people back in, maybe they're a bit nervous, so it's nice we've got that, the no contact treatment as well. But sort of what kind of offer, so like an offer with skincare, or sort of
what we do as a clinic, so we do the way we price Dermalux within the clinic. So we do a package of 10 is £400. I always say, so it's £40 per session, when you're obviously on a package of 10. When we do like a pay-as-you-go service, it's £50. So what I actually do for my introductory offer, and this is how I got over kind of 100 people within the first couple of weeks, promoted it on Facebook, I half price that treatment. So I literally did it for £25, and people go for that. No contact results. What more really could you want these days? So don't be scared to essentially lose money on the very first visit. View that as kind of like, even if you break even, or even if you lose money for that first treatment, it's fine. Because you're planning on making that client a long-term client. They're going to be coming back, spending repeat money with you on a regular basis. So yeah, I half price it. And like I say, it's £25. Who won't spend £25 and get an instant result? I mean, especially lying under the Tri-Wave, your skin instantly feels tighter, more hydrated, fresher after just one treatment. So when they see the results after one treatment, they then book in for their next treatment after that.
So I think we'll all need a bit of that, actually.
Yeah.
So
align it in my spare time. Yeah.
I know, thank goodness for at least having the at-home rental, with the Flex as well has really helped with that.
Totally.
So integrating it. I'm just having a look to see if there's any more questions about sort of using product. So in terms of your protocol then for the treatment, so let's say it's standalone, somebody comes in, what is your basic sort of protocol for a standalone session?
With the Tri-Wave, do you mean?
Yes, sorry, yeah. So what do you clean the skin? Do you put any products on the skin at all?
Yeah. So what we do, as a clinic, we use Lumiere MD, phenomenal skincare, really, really great results. So we use that in clinic. So the protocol will be cleanse the skin. We actually use hot mitts because it's quite nice. People like that element of luxury as well. Feel, that self-care is a big thing these days. So we'll cleanse the skin, make sure the skin's obviously dry after we've cleansed it. Then we'll apply the Tri-Wave MD. So we'll obviously pick the relevant setting for that person's skin. Then afterwards, we'll apply an Lumiere MD eye cream. Then we'll put the Lumiere MD Ultimate Boost, and then we'll put an SPF on. So in terms of the reason why you should do that, well, many reasons. It feels like someone's having a proper in-clinic treatment. It's quite relaxing, and there's the luxury element to it as well. So bearing in mind, that's what you can do. And then obviously you can rent your Flex on the side, which people probably won't do that themselves at home. But also it's a great way to integrate retail into that treatment. because, you know, it's the type of treatment where you don't necessarily have to put anything on the skin, but just to add value to that service, and to differentiate yourself from competitors. That's why we do it kind of that way. And your retail sales really increase, because even if you're putting an SPF on, I mean, everybody knows you need an SPF. There's no point you improving your skin if you're not wearing an SPF. So even if you can retail that person an SPF, you'll know yourself that you're doing something to help them and get them great results, because they're protecting their skin every day.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's no point in walking outside and doing all the good things that we're doing in the clinic. Yeah. But so in terms of putting a product on, I know this is a question there. So you don't put any product on before the light? Yeah, because I know there are options of serums.
Sometimes, depending on what ingredients are in that product.
Yes.
So you really need to know your ingredients in the skincare that you're using in the clinic. I don't recommend it. The reason being is sometimes you don't have time and you don't know every single ingredient that's in that product. So I don't recommend to do that. And it probably is safe to do that. I don't personally do that, just because I wouldn't want to add any unknown risk to the treatment. And as well, the products that most of us use in clinic are extremely active. And if that person's never used active products before, it's a process of elimination. You don't know, God forbid, if there was a reaction or something, you don't know what caused that. Whereas if you're just putting the light on, there's very, very small risk of a reaction, because who's really allergic to the light? No,
it's no, and obviously you've gone through the consultation with them anyway. Yeah. But no, I mean, we do say, you know, things like hyaluronic acid, something that's water based, but it's a real sort of option for people. So yes, it does very much depend on the skincare line that you're using and what options are available within that. But I mean, we would always say on more inflammatory conditions anyway, no, just a cleanse the skin under the light, because let's say you don't want to do anything that could potentially irritate that client's skin at that time. So someone's just asked about putting a glycolic or enzyme mask before the treatment. So you said you do your peels and then you do the light, or sometimes do them the other way
around? First, always light first if I'm doing a peel. We don't actually use any glycolic in clinic. Just Illumia doesn't have it. But we use salicylic and lactic acid, and we'll always do the light before the peel, always. I know obviously that Dermalux's protocol is to do it as the last thing in the treatment, which is fine for most things, but just for peels, you do it before, definitely.
Again, it depends on the brands. You know, our policy is really, you know, yes, it's you're using it then to sort of help with the post treatment, but it depends on the activation of that particular brand, or if you're not neutralizing it, for example, then of course we wouldn't recommend it. No.
Yeah, it depends entirely on the products that you've got, because I know obviously some peel protocols make you kind of leave products on the skin, so you wouldn't want to at that point then, you know, if you've got vitamin A on the skin, you wouldn't want to then put the Dermalux on top of that. So just always refer to your specific products protocols. Most kind of well-known medical grade skincare brands will actually have their own protocols, and where they include LED into their treatment protocols. So just follow that, really.
Yeah, someone's asking here about, is this applicable to the Flex as well? So this is actually, so for everybody on here who's got Dermalux, you know, whether it's the Flex, the Tri-Wave, the Compact, the Tri-Wave MD, it's applicable. So because we're using the same wavelength, the treatment is exactly the same. It's just obviously different, it's the different powers through the devices, so that will just impact on the number of sessions. But no, I mean, we know the Flex is a fantastic device, so we're not going to, you know, it's just about, it's more about treatment time. So just to confirm, like with our Tri-Wave Compact MD, we've got a 20-minute session time and then a 10-minute combination. So do you use the 10-minute post-treatment sometimes after certain? So when would you apply it afterwards? If you you're doing laser, would you apply the?
Certain lasers. So if we're doing like an ND YAG, like skin rejuvenation treatment, we'll do it afterwards. Certain laser treatment, you don't want that heat on the skin, so we'll kind of leave it off, or we'll do it before. Again, it just really comes down to an individual kind of treatment protocol. Microneedling, we'll do it after. For 10 minutes before, obviously, the holes within the skin close up, so we want to do it then we'll apply a serum after the 10 minutes. Again, it varies. Each treatment's got its own protocol with where you place it and how long you leave it on the skin for.
Right. Okay. So in terms of treatments in the clinic, I know you've got a lot of different treatments on your to offer. But what is the most sort of popular treatments that you offer then?
Skin tightening treatments. We do a lot of RF. We do a lot of microneedling. They're probably the most popular type of treatments. If we're treating a skin condition like acne or rosacea, we'll always go with peels and LED as like our go-to. But probably skin tightening, non-invasive skin tightening has become pretty big recently. And the Dermalux slots really nicely into that because obviously the red light is stimulating collagen production, which is great. That in conjunction with RF work fantastically well for a really, really good instant result and a long-lasting result as well.
So you're doing more ablative treatments as well? You're doing CO?
We don't do CO2. No, we don't. We don't do any real ablative treatments because, well, I mean, look, they've got their place. From experience, we've achieved great results without having to ablate the skin that much. Sometimes if you ablate the skin too much, it can actually cause quite a lot of damage to the skin, which obviously you don't necessarily need all the time. You know, I've had clients come to me who have had like Obagi blue peels and it's taken like their tattooed eyebrows off and whatnot because their skin wasn't prepped beforehand. That's fundamental what you need to do. So you need to really, really prep the skin before really you look at doing any real resurfacing treatments. Because the last thing you want to do is cause more harm than obviously good to the skin. So prepping the skin with LED and with skincare is what you really should be doing for about 4 to 6 weeks before you go in and do a peel or anything like that.
Yeah. But I think, again, coming out of lockdown, it'll be interesting to see if it's people just want more of the, we've been locked up for that long. We don't really want more downtime when we've got to stay
now. But now is a great time to start that, now do your virtual consultations, get your people on the skincare, rent your flex out, prep that person's skin. We've got 5 weeks. What was it, like 5 weeks to go or something till the 12th of April?
Good idea. Yes, absolutely. And then they're ready to come in
now. And then book them in for a series of treatments. That's pretty much the best thing to do. I mean, I go through like a lot of inquiries a week and I'm getting these people started on skincare. Obviously my flex is rented out at the minute, but get them started on skincare, get them booked in for their first session. And it's something for them to look forward to as well. I mean, this lockdown's been mental. It's probably been the hardest one we've all been through. So we need something to look forward to. So I would definitely advise you to start doing that.
So have you still been promoting, obviously, through this time? Obviously, we're looking forward now, obviously, to opening, hopefully, in April. So
fingers crossed, if nothing changes. Been advertising and been promoting our inquiries. We get a lot of different inquiries, and quite often the inquiries which we're getting at the minute is obviously people doing these types of virtual meetings and virtual calls, and they're looking at themselves a lot more. We're not used to, I mean, you've probably all read about obviously Zoom face and whatnot, but we're not used to seeing our reflection. And we're getting a lot of inquiries of people who are looking tired, dull, and I think, to be honest, the lockdown's really taken a toll on people. So I think there'll be a huge demand. From the 12th of April, people will be rushing in to have result-driven treatments.
If it's the first thing we could do. Someone's just asked a question about the flex, so again, sort of a starting point, and I think the nice point is that we've got a choice, we've got a range of products, so depending on people's circumstances and situations, obviously you're a bit, how many people have you got working with you? How many?
A team of 10.
We're a big clinic.
We've got a lot of space, which we're fortunate to have. But to be perfectly honest, look, if I was starting out, like 4 years ago when I started, I mean, you would probably want a body device and you would want a face device. If you had to pick a body device, probably go down the route of RF. But if you had to pick a face device, definitely go with LED. The reason being is because you literally can treat every single skin condition. Why would you not do that? It allows you to open the doors to so many things. So if you're just starting out, LED is a great entry point, and the flex is fantastic. I'm fortunate that we've got the tri-wave, but we've also got the flex, and the flex on its own delivers such a great result. You need to leave it on a bit longer, so instead of a 30-minute appointment slot, you'd maybe be a 45-minute appointment slot. But still, you can achieve fantastic results with the flex, and it's a great entry point device. Really, really good.
Yeah, so and then obviously you can build them up to the more powerful treatments as well. Yeah, so I think for anybody starting out, yeah, absolutely, the Flex is a great treatment. And we've got a good upgrade program as well. So fast forward once you've got your client base for LED, and like you said, I think it allows you to start promoting, because it's a medical device. We can promote more medical treatments. Your acne, your psoriasis, your more problematic conditions as well. So you're bringing a different kind of clientele through the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we talked about. So let's have a look at some of the other questions that we've got.
How would you sell an in-clinic tri-wave treatment with a client who's been renting the Flex at home? Okay, well, the power output is a big point of discussion for them. And also how I said about treatment protocols, about how we use the tri-wave, make it more of a luxury experience. If you can make it more of a luxury experience, they're psychologically thinking obviously that they've got value for money. If you're applying nice serums to the skin, you can even upgrade it and do like a massage, like a hand massage or something, if you're beauty trained. So you can really tweak it to make it that they are having value for money. And if someone's got a Flex at home, they might not be using it every day. They might not have the time to use it every day. They might have kids, work, etc. It can be quite stressful at home. So and talk about the benefits, the fact how much power it's got, the fan usage, etc. Talk about all the benefits that it has. Really.
And I think it is about that experience. So I would say, from our side, people actually just quite like to, they're coming because you're providing them with a solution, which isn't just about one thing. It's about a whole program, and it's how that slots in. But they just like that, that being looked after, that personal care, which obviously, using them, they're using products at home, and then, they can use the light therapy at home as well. But it's that overall experience. But power, definitely.
And I think what was I going to say? So our treatment room, so everything about the clinic is it's an experience from obviously when you first enter through the door. It's about the music that's on, the ambience, etc. All these things are really difficult to replicate at home, especially if you've got kids, you've just finished work, and now the home is literally our work and our house where we relax. So if you're able to create an environment in your clinic or your salon or whatever, where someone comes in and automatically they are relaxed, why would they not want to come in for that? Especially with all the stress that's been going on in the last 12 months. So I play what I call Dubai music. So it's kind of like the music that you would expect at like a beach club. So that's the type of music that I play in the clinic. And obviously when you're lying under the tri-wave, you literally feel like you're on holiday, which is pretty good.
Yes, so no, exactly. It's the feel good factor as well. But so the Flex, for people who have the luxury to have both devices, it was never about taking it away. And I think this Flex rental only came about because of COVID, and it was just looking at what could we do to support and help our clients at home, where we just couldn't give them any access into the clinic, and their treatments had to stop. So it'll just offer more than products alone, but not to take that experience away. And I think, like you say, the Flex is an everyday use device as well, whereas they're coming in and boosting it. We are doing a case study at the moment, and hopefully maybe next week I'll be able to give you a bit of an update on that. But it was just somebody that we wanted to help. I'm not sure if they're on at the moment, but it was quite interesting that we were able to do a tri-wave MD treatment for them to give the skin that boost, but then they're using the Flex at home as well. So they're actually using both together. So it's not to take away one or the other, but actually delivering more energy will almost give a result that you wouldn't even get with something lower power, either. So it's not about the speed of the results, it's actually just about the actual the quality of the end result as well, or the success of the end result. So
absolutely,
we did have just a point which I think was quite interesting when we were actually developing the tri-wave MD, and one of our medical advisors that was trialing it, who's a big laser user and had a lot of experience with phototherapy and lasers, manufacturers, but actually said, and we've got some results to show this, that when using it on pigmentation and also with vascular, that some of the results were comparable to IPL. Obviously, you know, it takes a bit longer, but there's no downtime. It's safe on, particularly on when we're treating darker skins. But we're at that level, you know, this is it's a different level of treatment now than just, you know, the traditional LED sort of treatments that we're probably used to. So
it's a step up, really. You know, it's putting your clinic in that category where I am serious about the type of results. So it's something kind of you can do it. You're quite right. Obviously, start with a flex, get the clientele for the flex, and then you know how much obviously clients love when you bring new things into the clinic, because they know that you're really up to date, you're up to speed, and clients are really switched on these days. They know what's available. So, you know, it's a good entry point for sure, but think, you know, of how much better obviously you can get the results in a shorter space of time with the Tri-Wave.
Yeah, and people want results quickly, don't we? I think we're in that busy lifestyle now that, you know, we don't necessarily want the downtime now. You know, we don't want, you know, we want the results fast, and, you know, and the pain-free. I think that's a big point as well. You know, it's, you know, we're delivering pain-free results that are proven. So someone's asked about migraines, about someone sometimes get migraines for the treatment. Well, it shouldn't trigger a headache. If somebody, we actually put that on the consultation form, so about light-induced headaches, but there isn't really any evidence. But of course, if people are prone to migraines or headaches that are light triggered, then it is a point just to make them, it wouldn't stop them having it, but you could make them aware that there's a possibility that it might trigger that as well. So
there's a question: if you were to do microneedling and LED on the same day, which one would you do first? So you do the microneedling first, and then you would do like your 10 minutes post-treatment following on from the microneedling.
Just one point on this, actually, which it comes up a lot with us, that, you know, sometimes the manufacturers of the microneedling, that we're not here to tell a manufacturer of microneedling about their protocol or what to use. You know, we're just looking at combination treatments, and it's from our experience and our research that we've done. But, you know, the idea that, you know, as if you think about treatments in a clinic, a lot of them are triggering an inflammatory response, because that's how it works. We create trauma, the wound healing response, the collagen, etc. So with microneedling, of course, we're triggering that, and people have this thinking that LED is about stopping that response, or it's anti-inflammatory, but it isn't. You know, once we've triggered that, we can't stop it. All we can do is we can modulate it, which is where photobiomodulation comes from, but we can control that to make sure it doesn't go out of control, so that actually we're just speeding up, like you said at the beginning, we're speeding up the healing, we're speeding up the results. So we can't stop inflammation. It's good, but it's not that good. But we can actually, you know, speed it up to make it better. So yes, we would always have a protocol where we would use it afterwards.
But you are quite right. Some manufacturers say don't put anything on the skin afterwards, but think about it logically, what you're doing, you know, think about the science behind it, and then just use that then to make an educated decision about why you should be using it post microneedling.
We've had, you know, hundreds and thousands of, you know, results and great feedback of using them together, but ultimately it's down to the clinics. You know, it's about choice, isn't it? You know, the nice thing is if you have the right tools, you have the options, and you can, you know, you can create those protocols together. But as we're talking about today, it's about best practice and what works, and you're definitely an authority from that point of view. Interesting, actually. So have you had any psoriasis? And we're going to be talking about results next week, but we will just touch on this. You know, have you seen clients with psoriasis? Do you get them?
Not, I mean, I don't treat specifically for psoriasis. However, I do have a few clients who I'm treating, let's say, for anti-aging, and they also have psoriasis. So it's kind of like been like a byproduct of the treatment outcome. But yes, I have had very successful results with treating psoriasis, to be perfectly honest, with the Dermalux. They notice a really great improvement, especially this time of year when it's a bit colder. Psoriasis can flare up. But I don't treat it on its own. I probably should. I just don't advertise it on its own. But if I've got someone with another skin condition and they so happen to have psoriasis, then of course I can target both at the same time with the Dermalux, and they do see really good results.
But, you know, if you have the device, again, it's just another avenue that, or another treatment option that we can start to promote. We actually touched on it in our last webinar where we were looking at, you know, maybe people aren't aware that, you know, the LED can, you know, we should be promoting more about all the different, you know, in one device, we can treat such a wide range of skin indications and conditions that, you know, we should really be telling people about this. And I think, you know, you know, there's a lot of stress and, you know, sort of problem skins that, like we said, coming out, maskne, all these kind of conditions that we're probably going to see more and more now, you know, through this sort of this period. So, you know, definitely it's nice to promote something a little bit different and show that variety.
That's a great idea. I'll work on that. I'll start advertising that.
Yeah, so but I think, you know, the question that we were sort of focused around is about integration, you know, and actually looking at this as an integral part of anybody's client journey. So we know it's safe. We know that, you know, 99% of people can have LED very, very, you know, very safely and very effectively. But it's actually bringing that in. And, you know, I think you said, you know, you bring it in right at the beginning. And I think that's important, not thinking it's just an add-on treatment, especially when you've got the higher power devices. It's bringing that in right at the start. And do you think that's why it's been so successful for you?
Probably because I've made it kind of, you know, a primary focus of the business. You know, we don't do anything without LED. So I do think that it separates you as a business from other businesses that are maybe just doing one thing. You know, it allows you really to get safer results, quicker results. And we're a result driven industry, you know, that you know, it's a busy industry. We want the results for people. So just think of protocols that you've got, or, you know, how you can tweak them to really integrate LED. You know, don't view it as kind of like, oh, I've paid X amount for the device, I need to recover that money straight away. View it as obviously a fact that you can integrate that into every single treatment protocol. You can charge more as well, and you're going to make your money back as well, because obviously you're going to achieve fantastic results. Then people are going to tell their friends, people, etc., etc., and then word of mouth will really build that up.
And I think, you know, again, when, you know, talking to sort of different clinics, especially, you know, people who are looking to introduce this service, and, you know, we get a lot of, oh, it's, you know, LED is an add-on. And I think it's been given this sort of badge, let's say, because of lower power maybe devices in the market that are not able to deliver the results. You know, if the device can't deliver standalone results, then it's only ever going to be an add-on. We're never going to be able to promote it as a standalone treatment. But with Dermalux, we shouldn't be, you know, for everybody that's invested, we shouldn't be undervaluing the treatment. You know, we should be, this is powerful standalone results, and I think it can command those price tags. But, you know, equally, I know we've got a commercial, part 3 commercial, you know, but actually looking at how profitable it is. And, you know, I think we sometimes forget that. So we are going to be talking about that more in detail in part 3. So not to miss that one either.
Exactly. Using with RF, would you use LED before or after? So I use it after RF. Obviously, depending on your protocol as well. If you're just doing RF, check what serums you're putting on as well. My protocol, if I'm doing, I've got the Oxygeneo in the clinic. I don't know if anyone else has, but they've got Oxypod. So the brightening Oxypod has got kojic acid in, which is obviously photosensitive. So don't use that. Swap it round. But if you're just doing standalone RF, do the LED afterwards.
So most of our, actually all of our protocols we would recommend to use at the end, only because LED is going to stimulate the skin. So you just have to be, you know, it might intensify the results of the second treatment. But in any case, it's not going to be harmful. It's just more of, you know, thinking about when you're doing a combination of treatments, you know, even if you're doing it, you know, maybe 3 different treatments together, you might exfoliate, you might do RF, and it's just the nice relaxing part at the end. But it doesn't mean that you couldn't do it before. The only thing that I saw the question again about using it with peels, but yeah, you just have to be a little bit careful about, maybe like you said, about because of the product ingredients.
Just double check.
Yes, and then activating those with the light. So yeah, it depends on the brand, of course.
Well, this is a good question from Rachel. She sent it to me directly, so you maybe won't see this. Can you use this successfully on mature ladies who are afraid of invasive stuff, 60 to 70s with wrinkles? Absolutely. I would put them on either the rejuvenation setting, which is obviously red and near infrared, or I would just go Tri-Wave. Tri-wave, to be perfectly honest, is my personal favorite setting, because obviously you're getting every single wavelength in there, and you can use it really successfully. Just obviously manage your patients' expectations that they're not going to see amazing results after just 1 or 2 sessions. So definitely you want to get them on multiple sessions, and you want to explain that the benefits obviously continue the more you have of the treatment. But certainly, I mean, you'll get really great results, because if you think you're boosting their cell turnover as well within their skin, you know, it's likely that there's a big buildup of dead skin cells on that skin surface. So if you're doing something to boost that, their skin will look healthier. And as well, blue light is really great for the brain as well. Am I right in saying, like, mood boosting as well?
Yes, yeah, the happy lights.
Yeah, exactly. So when you get to that age as well, you want something, you know, really to stimulate yourself. I don't know what their personal
the energizing effect, definitely. And you know, we know that as our cells age, unfortunately, like the ATP production is reduced as well. So we're using, you know, light is an energy treatment. So if we're energizing we always use the phone analogy. So we think about our cells. I've got a battery, the mitochondria, which produce the energy. So our mobile phone has got a battery on it. When the phone battery runs out, we plug the phone in and we recharge it. So we need to be recharging our cell batteries all the time to ensure that, you know, our skin will continue to function. So yeah, this is something that we can use and promote. So I think that's a nice thing. It's all ages, and for maybe older clients that don't want anything more invasive, then it's either that great stepping stone, or it's just something that they're going to be happy with.
Yeah, they'll love it as well. And
it's just going to give better results just than a regular facial that they might be used to as well. So
very true.
I think it's just nice to have options, isn't it, and give people a choice. So you definitely got that. Goodness me, we've had a lot of questions in, and I know we haven't been able to answer them all. We will look through them. I think we're running a little bit short on time now, so we will continue to have a look through all the questions that have come through. If there's anything that we've missed, or if you've got any further questions, then you can still email us to info@dermaluxled.com. This webinar has been recorded as well, so it should be available from tomorrow. So we'll post that out, and to everybody that's joined today, we'll send out a thank you email, and we'll send you the link so you can watch it again. So just have to say that, episode 2 is at the same time next week. So it's Thursday, 11th of March at 4 p.m. So we're going to be joined by Vanessa again, and also by Dr. Abs. So Dr. Abs is your aesthetic doctor. Yeah. And he deals with a lot. Does he look at more of the problem conditions, or
mixture of both? He does a lot, and we'll be mainly focusing on aging and how we incorporate into injectable practice, as well as just general kind of skin health. But certainly problem conditions as well, we cover them as well.
And protocols. I think we said we're going to touch on sort of protocols for problem skins, and hopefully share some success stories too. So the registration for the next webinar is going to be open from tomorrow, so watch out for that, and then obviously book your place on. But I just want to finish by saying thank you very much, Vanessa. It's been fascinating talking to you. You know, with lots to think about. Hopefully for everyone watching, it's been beneficial, and you know made the brain think a little bit. But and thank you for everyone who's taken the time to come on as well. So I hope it's been beneficial. But
thank you.
Okay, so thank you again, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah,
all right, have a lovely evening, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.